Greetings. Welcome to Progressive Discussions. This is Progressive Discussions. I am your host for Progressive Discussions, James P. Madonna. I am here with my co-host and mentor, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. We are coming to you live. Well, it's being pre-recorded. It's live while we're recording it, of course. And of course, we are live. But anyway, we are coming to you from the Newsletter Censored Research Center in northeastern New Jersey. This is Meat Prop. It is a blackthorn shillelagh imported from Ireland. Weapons grade shillelagh. It helps me emphasize certain things. I wave it around sort of like an Irish gavel. But anyway, it's a prop, and I love it. I'm not Irish, but I love me shillelagh. Now, how are you feeling today, sir?
Fine.
All right. The Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman is here. Another week has blown by, believe it or not.
No, 2 weeks have blown by, and it's tomorrow is time for the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Already. What happened to those 2 weeks?
Our local team, the New York Giants, are in the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots, and they're playing in a dome, which is very considerate for the fans and the players to not be subject to the elements, the weather. So
especially up there.
Especially there.
Where is that? Is it Maine? Is that where the
No,
Patriots?
Indianapolis, Indiana. Maine.
Maine. Oh boy.
No, wait, there's no stadiums. There's no big stadiums in Maine.
What the hell? Indiana is not New England.
They don't play the Super Bowl. They don't have the Super Bowl in any of the teams, the participants' cities.
Oh.
They have it in a neutral location. In this case, they chose Indianapolis, where the Colts play, and where his brother, the New York Giants quarterback, of course, is Eli Manning. His brother is Peyton Manning of the, I was going to say Baltimore Colts. That's what they originally were.
Yeah.
You know, in the days of Johnny Unitas and Bubba Smith and all them guys. Anyway, they're playing in a dome in Indianapolis. So it's tomorrow, and of course, you know, the old joke that I heard from David Letterman is $1 billion is spent on snacks alone during the Super Bowl, and that's just Chris Christie's house. You know. But anyway, good luck to the New York Giants.
A lot of truth is told in jest, as Freud said.
Especially sarcastic political humor like we do. Salute to the New York Giants, Big Blue Wrecking Crew. Hopefully the blessings of the shillelagh will fall upon you and you will win the Super Bowl. I think it's their second or third Super Bowl if they win it.
Well,
no, wait a minute. No. Under the present coach, it will be the second Super Bowl. Not in franchise history.
No.
You know, Bill Parcells and forget it. I mean, I'm talking about. I believe it will be the second Super Bowl for this present coach. So good luck to the Giants. The only problem is the New York fans get very obnoxious and they talk a lot of shit. They trash talk and disrespect the other team.
But do they kill people like those soccer teams?
Which is bad luck, by the way. In old Italian superstitions, it brings on the evil eye. Do they kill people like in soccer?
Yeah, the soccer game the other day, the crowd went crazy and killed 70 or 73 people.
What?
And many hundreds injured.
Where was this?
I don't know where the hell it was.
73 people?
73 people dead.
That's a lot of people.
No kidding.
Because over a game?
Yeah, over a game.
Over a game.
Because the other team won.
But isn't that the general idea that somebody?
One team is going to win.
Somebody who, if you have a winner, automatically there has to be a loser. Ipso facto ergo. It only makes sense.
Well, they didn't want it, so they went nuts.
Isn't that poor? Isn't that the ultimate poor sportsmanship?
I would say
sore loser. I mean, you know,
it's also inhuman.
It's like savages.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, if you played professional poker, would you play knowing that the other people are going to shoot you if you win all the chips?
That's how they did it in the old days. You had the guns on the table, man. You had that ace up your sleeve, buddy. You're dead.
Hey, what's the Kenny Rogers song? How does it go again?
You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run.
I know you're a good country
I gotta
western
get
singer.
the I gotta get the key. You gotta have one of them. You know the things that blow the key. Give you the starting note. Because I can sing in many keys, you know what I mean? So it's kind of difficult.
Something you better count your money when it's sitting
Count
on
your
the
blessings.
table. Count your
Don't
blessings.
count your blessings.
Don't count your money before the dealing's done. Something like that.
The gambler.
Yeah, the gambler. That's before. And then Kenny Rogers said about his chicken. You know, it's the wood that makes it good. Maybe that was during the time he was cheating on his wife. You know, it's the wood that makes it good. And
Never had a Kenny Rogers chicken.
very tiny. It's like a pigeon.
Never had
It's
one.
tasty as all hell, but it's very small. It's a ripoff. It's not even a full chicken. And then, of course,
I visited Roy Rogers, but Kenny Rogers.
Boston Market is a little bit bigger than Kenny Rogers Roaster.
yeah, you get a half a chicken.
You get
right?
a squab, pigeon.
No, Boston Market is a half a chicken, right?
No, you can buy a whole rotisserie, but the
Oh.
freaking chickens are so small. They're like so tiny. I mean, you can.
Well, maybe they're getting them to market.
I don't
faster.
even think it'll fill up Mini-Me.
They don't want to spend the time to fill them out. They get them to market as quick as they can.
Yeah, and overcharge people.
Yeah.
There's your capitalism, Republicans. Anyway, I was talking to Dr. Bill Wednesday. We had a little meeting, and I was saying, you know, during an election, whether it be, you know, congressional, senatorial, gubernatorial, or, you know, president, 2012, if the nice guys, the ones with compassion, called the progressives, they used to call them liberals, but now they're progressives, whether they be independent candidates or Democrats, doesn't matter. If, when they run, they made it their business to make sure that all low-income people living in the inner cities that did not have transportation to get to the polls and vote, including seniors living on a fixed income, you know, the elderly, and disabled people, if they made sure that there was adequate transportation to get them all out, because unfortunately I think only 35% of Americans even bother to vote. Is that the projection?
I don't know what the actual number is, but it's always below 50%.
Right. But if the little guy got to the polls, especially those that didn't have transportation, we would see probably landslide victories against the Republicans, the conservatives, and you would have a Democrat-controlled, or whoever, you know, the progressive is, a Democrat, let's say in this case, a Democrat-controlled House, Senate, and the White House, which would mean that the little guy will be taken care of, and guess what? The rich, the 1%, will just have to pay for it.
However,
and it's too damn bad. They don't like it. However,
there are a lot of Tazes amongst those
I
people.
know, I was going to bring them up. They could be, now in the case of Mr. Taz, that's not his real name, but he's one of the callers we had when we used to have a show on Alternicast, the late Alternicast, many years ago. And he was living on a fixed income. He was a disabled man who happened to vote Republican, you know, conservative, and he talked trash against liberals. I don't know why. The guy didn't have two nickels to rub together. He lived on, I guess, SSI, supplemental or Social Security disability. But this dude was a right-winger. And, you know, the right wing, they do not have his best interests at heart. But he was a right-winger, you figure. He was brainwashed, like the middle class, you know, with the Tea Party lies. But, you know, also recently, Mr. Mitt Romney, and I have some really funny political satire cartoons with him. You should see the cartoon of Mitt Romney. He's got a chin like Jay Leno. He's got thick eyebrows. It's real funny. But anyway, Mitt Romney was, I heard it with my own ears, and I saw it. He was pretty much trivializing the plight of the poor, saying that the poor, well, he said the rich, of course, will be fine, not to worry about them.
He said,
no kidding. But let me finish. No kidding. But he says the poor are not so bad either because they have a safety net. Big damn deal. Welfare, food stamps, safety net. Safety net?
Well, he actually said, I don't care about the poor because they have a safety net, and if there's any holes in it, I'll repair them.
Oh, I wonder what kind of repair job a Republican is going to do for the poor safety net.
Well,
safety net. Do you think living on...
He's going to put more holes in it.
Yeah, he'll make more holes in it. Or if it's Chris Christie, he'll burn the safety net. But the point is, they think these social programs are considered a safety net for the poor. You have poor people living in tents now under Obama. You think that they're gonna live in a decent apartment under Mitt Romney? Safety net. They give you shit. Welfare is crap. The amount of money they give you.
It's never kept up with inflation.
That's what I'm getting at. Medicaid.
And it was never a great stipend in the first place.
Yeah, Medicaid, food stamps, all of the social programs are far from being able to keep up with the rate of inflation. They're way behind. So his safety net is kind of a disrespectful way of trivializing the plight of the poor, just like Chris Christie disrespected and trivialized the civil rights movement. And he got heat for that. He
got hammered.
He got hammered for that, and rightfully so. So Mitt Romney, well, the good thing is that the more Mitt Romney
opens his mouth, he exposes more of himself.
Opens his mouth, shoots himself in the foot, and of course we don't have to worry about Newt Gingrich doing that because he's doing a great job of it. It just makes it that much easier for the Obama campaign. Now, aside from politics, because I want to get right to the newspaper articles, fast food hamburgers. No, actually, not only fast food hamburgers, but ground beef sold in the United States are allowed to have, and get this, 70%, up to 70% of this toxic pink slime that is ammonia-based. And what it is, and I'll tell you exactly what it is because Mr. Jamie Oliver has a great video on YouTube.
Saw it yesterday.
You saw it? The meat processing industry, what they do, and of course I believe this is part of deregulation by conservatives, allowing businesses to do anything they want.
Police themselves.
To do anything they want. Okay. Yeah. They take to make a long story short, they take all the byproducts that normally are fed to dogs and cats. I'm talking about the cheap pet food, not the good stuff. Okay. They take all the byproducts from the meat that's meant to be sold to humans. They grind it, they pulverize it into a pate or like chopped meat. And this is all the garbage that people can't really eat. But they pulverize it. And these byproducts often can have E. coli bacteria in them. They could have some nasty things in there,
Salmonella?
Yeah, absolutely. So what they do is they sterilize it in ammonia. Then, after they sterilize it with ammonia, they rinse it. I don't know what the extent of this rinsing is, but they rinse it after it's been sitting in ammonia. And then they mix it into the healthy, if you want to call it that.
The rest of the ground.
The rest of the ground beef, even though the cattle receive antibiotics and hormones, steroids. Anyway, they mix it back in and sell it to you. So 70%, and that includes fast food, contains this toxic pink slime, which is ammonia-based. Now, McDonald's, oh, how magnanimous of them. McDonald's was the first fast food company to supposedly ban or stop using beef with this pink slime, this ammonia pink slime. And my question, Dr. Bill, before we go to the articles, is that if these American food companies did not get caught, or it was not known to the public that they can use 70% of this toxic crap, would McDonald's offer to do something so nice and, considerate to their customers to not use this?
No.
If it did not come out in the open, in the media, McDonald's, would they make this offer?
No, they would not.
No.
Obviously, they got some feedback, negative feedback. It's just like the FDA. The FDA will not do anything, has given up on the pesticides in the orange juice thingy, because it's in all the orange juice.
No, really?
Yeah, because during the winter months, it looks like when we import, and don't ask me why we need to import oranges from Brazil and all this
or
stuff.
Chile.
They mix it all together with the ones grown here in this country. Yeah. So it's in all the batches.
So you people out there...
But the FDA says it's not that much.
They always say that.
A little poison is okay.
A little poison is okay. Yeah. Sure. So the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, and the USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture, see these the average idiot out there, the lemmings that voted Republican last November, the flag-waving, Yankee Doodle dandy, patriotic Americans, they believe that these federal agencies are there to protect them and that they have their best interests at heart. No way. They're paid off. They're paid off, and
well, they believe the businesses can police themselves. That's what the whole thing is. Smaller government, shrink it.
Yeah.
So that it's so small you can drown it in a bathtub.
All the lies.
Norquist.
All the lies, deregulation,
cutting regulation. That's what we get.
Yeah, in other words,
go back to the jungle. With whatchamacallit, who the hell was the writer? The Jungle, where he exposed the garbage going on in the meat industry way back when.
If you didn't have people exposing this, they will continue to do it.
Exactly.
Same thing with fracking, the oil. Look, we're dealing with an evil entity when it comes to the greedy free market capitalism.
Money.
We're dealing with the devil's economics, and the bad part is that the white horse of the apocalypse, the false prophets, the false church. This is all reality. These Republicans are feeding you idiots out there lies. They're false propaganda. It's not true. And the progressives are giving you the truth. And there can be only one real truth. And of course, you Americans that voted, that believe the conservative propaganda, of course you don't research any of this, so you believe your Newt Gingriches and your Mitt Romneys and the rest of those Rick Perrys and the rest of those holy roller religious nuts and people that you think deep down they really know what to do in Washington, these Republicans. You think deep down they really know the truth, or are they so deluded?
Revelation 12:9, the whole world is deceived.
They're deceived, but what about the Republicans?
I'm willing to believe God there, okay?
What about the Republicans? Are they deceived?
They're all deceived. The whole world is deceived.
Or are they lying blatantly to the American public?
No, they're deceived. They're deceived.
Okay, now before you read the article, this cartoon, let me explain what this is about. Let me see what we got here. Does this mean I have to put my reading glasses back on?
I suppose so.
I guess it does. What are you going to do? Everybody's got something. In my case, I need glasses. Okay, we got a picture. A cartoon of Mitt Romney, because I see the chin and I see his name badge says Mitt, and his hairstyle. It says here, "I'm not concerned about the very poor." And then Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Donald Trump with that ridiculous Dennis the Menace hairstyle of his.
The millionaire and the billionaire.
The billionaire and they're both billionaires?
No, the millionaire.
Oh, the millionaire and the billionaire.
Multi-millionaire,
right.
and the Trumpy is supposedly a billionaire.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, Donald Trump, as soon as Mitt Romney says, "I'm not concerned about the very poor," Donald Trump says, "You're hired."
Yeah, because in his show he always says, "You're fired."
Yeah, but,
so it's a play on
conservatives they don't like the poor very much, so.
No, they don't.
All right, let me know if.
They don't like the poor.
Let me know if it's within. Hold on. Camera view.
Yeah. Down. Okay, right.
Now,
there.
is the article straight? Fairly?
Yeah, it's fairly straight.
Fairly straight.
You're not going to.
All right, you got that?
Yeah.
All right. Am I getting too close?
I can't really tell, but okay, right there.
Okay, see it?
See?
There you go.
Okay.
All right, Mitt Romney says, I'm not worried. I'm not concerned about the very poor. And Trump says, you're hired. But this is mild compared to the political cartoons we have on our Mega Life 21 newsletter censored Facebook page. There's some heavy-duty ones there concerning Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich. There's one where Mitt Romney is tied to the ground by little people like Gulliver's Travel.
Lilliputians.
Well, the Lilliputians are the poor, and there's there's words on there. You got to read it. The little sarcasm, and then the one about Newt Gingrich. This banner exposes everything Newt ever did in the past that was negative, and whatever he's doing now, it's all there on one banner, and it has a very uncomplimentary photo of the rotund, slimy salamander, Newt Gingrich. I still say Newt and Chris Christie would make excellent running mates, because they have the same genetic anatomical shape, and they have double chins, except Chris Christie is morbidly obese, but they both have the same personality. Obnoxious.
Neither
blunt.
Certainly has the lean and hungry look.
No. They have no compassion for the poor. They're both corporatists. They're greedy. They're perfect. Their personalities are perfect together. So I think if Satan wants to get behind
He's already there.
A politician, I would say Newt Gingrich, Chris Christie. There's your combination. So next time Satan wants to be on the show, he'll probably have wonderful things to say about Chris Christie and Newt Gingrich. Anyway, first article.
The big lie is a propaganda technique, and capitalists and conservatives have fed us a whopper. They have said for years that we were founded as a capitalist country. This is not entirely true. Our foundation is, of course, the Constitution. And nowhere in the Constitution does it say what our economic system should or should not be. Instead, the preamble says, we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, and promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution. Republican and conservative thinking is every man for himself, not the general welfare. And they like to stack the deck in their favor. GOP presidential hopeful Newt Gingrich just received $10 million from casino developer and billionaire Sheldon Adelson. Do you really think Gingrich, if elected, won't do what Adelson wants? Capitalism is defined as private ownership of the means of production for profit or income. Republicans claim capitalism creates jobs and generates wealth.
Yes.
The goal of capitalism is profits, not jobs. Any jobs it creates are only those minimally needed to conduct the business. Any time a business can reduce labor costs, particularly to increase profits, it does.
Can I say Foxconn in mainland China, where the people are making 31 cents an hour?
Correct.
With probably no
benefits.
Well, mainland China, communism, socialism, don't they provide a national health care program?
Supposedly.
Yeah, but this is a great article. Continue.
So, it exports jobs to lower-cost labor markets at home or overseas, buys machines to replace workers' jobs, and fights against unions. If a business could completely automate its operation, it would. So enough with capitalism creates jobs. Does it create wealth? Yes. Just like feudalism that it replaced.
For the fat cats, the 1%.
A system in which almost all the wealth went to the lords and little went to the vassals and serfs, who were the military conscripts when the lords were threatened.
Sounds like G.W. Bush and Cheney when they sent young middle-class and poor American kids to Afghanistan and Iraq, right? The lords wanted the poor to fight their wars for them, right?
Correct.
In this case, it's war profiteering by the fat cats, by the political leaders.
Regarding Governor Christie's view on gay marriage draws a rebuke. Assembly Speaker Sheila Oliver said that the governor needs a history lesson. She argued that the present fight for gay marriage is similar to the fight for equal rights by black people. Sure. I see a big difference. Black people were really fighting for equal rights, many of which they were denied. Gay couples fight for a word. They want to be called married. But there is a traditional understanding of the word married. The word married should retain its traditional meaning. Gay partners should be accorded all the rights generally included among the rights of marriage, if the terms civil union or partnership are unacceptable. Then work on an alternative. But stop wasting time talking about this. Governor Christie is right that people should decide whether gay couples should use the word married.
Well, I don't see a problem during a civil ceremony. I just don't think religious organizations, churches, should
have the last word on marriage.
I don't think they should have the last word, but I don't think they should be forced to marry gays. But as far as a civil ceremony in court, by a justice of the peace or a mayor, it should be allowed. Why not? It's but who are these right-wing fundamentalist humans with many frailties and sins and skeletons in their closet?
They take the focus off themselves if they make somebody else guilty of more sin than they have.
They don't. Sin. They do not have a bat phone or a stovepipe to God. They have no right to speak for God. And the old psychology story is, if you talk a lot of shit and you attack somebody very boldly and continuously, usually you are taking attention away from yourself. So in their case, they're trying. It's a way of hiding the skeletons in their closet by attacking someone else.
Yeah.
You know, a distraction.
Like the magician does. When he wants to do something with his left hand, he shows you his right hand.
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand.
Yeah, that's what they are. They're snake oil salesmen.
But they also supposedly read their Bible. And their Bible tells them very clearly, there is no judgment today.
Oh, you mean like G.W. Bush used to talk to God? They read their
Bible.
Bibles?
Well, God told them to go into Iraq. What a mess that turned out to be, didn't it?
Why?
And God is not the author of confusion. So, whom was he talking to?
Somebody insisted to me on Facebook that G.W. Bush really was talking to God. I go, not the God of the Bible. That man, he's a demon. He wasn't talking. Would the God of the Bible tell a president to do the things that G.W. Bush did and Dick Cheney? Not the God of the Bible. No way. And this person, like a lemming, like an idiot, like so many Americans are, continue to say, oh no, he really did talk to God. You know what? Maybe it's in prophecy and destined for America to go down. You know what I mean? What a bunch of morons out there. You know, it's like, anyway.
A burgeoning population of huge pythons, many of them pets that were turned loose by their owners.
Burmese pythons in South Florida?
When they got too big.
Florida, right?
Appears to be wiping out large numbers of raccoons, possums, bobcats, and other mammals in the Everglades.
That is true. That is true. And smaller alligators, too.
The study, published Monday in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, found that sightings of medium-sized mammals are down dramatically, as much as 99%.
Well, you know, Hurricane Andrew also let some Burmese pythons loose that were in a zoo.
Yeah.
In South Florida.
Yes, they did.
And, you know, so in other words, what you're telling me is the cold spell that South Florida had last year when they received freezing temperatures did not wipe out the Burmese python population?
Obviously not.
Because they're tropical. You would think anything below 32 degrees Fahrenheit would kill a tropical animal.
Yeah.
Not only that, somebody let loose African giant land snails, which just happened to carry a parasite that can give you meningitis. And they were brought here as pets. Now I hear they're all over South Florida, infested with these giant African land snails.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh boy's right.
All these things are happening in areas where pythons and other large non-native constrictor snakes are known to be lurking. Scientists fear the pythons could disrupt the food chain and upset the Everglades' environmental balance in ways difficult to predict. The effects of declining mammal populations on the overall Everglades ecosystem, which extends well beyond the national park boundaries, are likely profound. Tens of thousands of Burmese pythons are believed to be living in the Everglades. Everglades.
Okay.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands. So they're very prolific when they, I think they bear.
In all that cold
young.
weather, somebody's doing a lot of dicky dunking.
Yeah, the snake is definitely dipping its snake, despite the cold winters South Florida's been having. Very prolific, these pythons. It's no wonder the animal population in the Everglades is in danger. These pythons are
eating them up, baby.
Eating them up, man.
While many were apparently released by their owners, others may have escaped from pet shops during Hurricane Andrew in 1992 and have been reproducing ever since. Burmese pythons can grow to be 26 feet long and more than 200 pounds.
I didn't realize they can get that big.
And they have been known to swallow animals as large as alligators.
Well, the smaller alligators, not a 500-600 pound alligator. I mean, yes, they have been known to swallow alligators, but alligators are cold-blooded. So, snakes have like a heat-sensing device with their tongue. So I'm surprised that they would attack and eat a cold-blooded creature which does not emit any body heat. Interesting.
They and other constrictor snakes kill their prey by coiling around it and suffocating it. The National Park Service has counted 1,825 Burmese pythons that have been caught in and around the Everglades National Park since 2000.
Wow.
Among the largest so far was a 156-pound, 16.4-foot one captured earlier this month. For the study, researchers drove 39,000 miles along Everglades area roads from 2003 through 2011, counting wildlife spotted along the way and comparing the results with surveys conducted on the same routes in 1996 and 1997. The researchers found staggering declines in animal sightings, a drop of 99.3% among raccoons.
Why don't they just start a Burmese python hunting season to sell the skins to companies that make boots and handbags, like cowboy boots? Yeah, do that.
Yeah, for now,
Start
like the bear season in New Jersey.
Yeah, like
when the bear population gets too much.
Well, what happened was the black bear was protected and it was endangered in our area, New Jersey, and they imported him from Pennsylvania, from the Pocono region, into northern New Jersey, and now there's too many bears, so they had to start. The same thing with deer, same thing with other animals. Alligators at one time were endangered. Now there's too many of them. But yeah, do that. I mean, since python skin is popular with handbags and boots and things of that nature, start an annual python roundup for the skins.
98.9% for possums, 94.1% for white-tailed deer, and 87.5% for bobcats.
Wow.
Along roads where python populations are believed to be smaller, declines were lower, but still notable.
And what about the endangered Florida panther? They might be even more endangered now.
Probably.
Because of these pythons. All right, we're going to take a break. It's time for my co-host and mentor, Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman's gastronomic delight known as lunch, and followed by high green tea, and we'll be back. We are back, and while the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman is eating lunch, I'll do a little promo.
Yeah, surviving his andouille sausage.
Yeah, he's got a stew with andouille sausage in it, and see, Reverend Bill, as opposed to myself, James Piranha Madonna, Reverend Bill, just like my mother and my sister,
is a wuss.
They eat, even though I have a shillelagh, my food is not Irish-like. They cannot handle any spice whatsoever. They're like a bunch of babies. They cannot eat hot pepper or of any kind. I love hot and spicy food, whether it be Thai chili, Indian chili, I love chilies. A hot sauce, jalapenos, habaneros. I haven't had the ghost chili yet. I don't think I'll be able to handle that. But like when Bill makes his Hellfire chili, it's really not Hellfire. That's just the name. Because he's an ordained minister. You get it? Hellfire chili. But when I make Hellfire chili, it's Hellfire. I don't even have to use hot sauce. If I put just 1 or 2 habanero peppers, fresh habaneros, in my 6 quarts of chili, it's extremely hot. Actually, 1 habanero, believe it or not, fresh, would completely take care of a 6-quart pressure cooker of venison chili. Sometimes I get a venison pot roast and I make chili out of that. And I put the red kidney beans and the meat. I don't have to chop up the meat, not in a pressure cooker. The tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, the cumin, coriander, garlic, olive oil, all the ingredients goes in with the meat in one piece, because when you pressure cook for like a half hour, not only do the dry kidney beans become very well cooked, but the meat just falls apart. You can break it with a fork. So it works out very well. Same thing with onions. You can put a whole peeled onion in a 6-quart stainless steel pressure cooker. The ones I have 2 at home, made by Presto, and in a half hour, a whole onion would just unravel. As soon as you touch it with a spoon, it just falls apart. So you don't even have to cut onions when you pressure cook food.
Other than the heat.
Yeah.
The andouille tastes just like kielbasa.
Kielbasa. Well, I love kielbasa, smoked sausage. Don't get me wrong. I love Irish food too. I'll eat corned beef and cabbage. I'll eat fish and chips. I like the pot pies. The meat pies.
I love fish and chips.
You like pot pies?
No, I hate pot pies.
Oh, why? Because they have vegetables inside?
Usually frozen peas and the crust.
You don't like the crust?
No.
You got some crust. Not liking crust. How can anybody not like pie crust? Come on, it's delicious.
Too many carbs.
Oh, okay, I follow.
White flour.
What else do they make? Bangers and mash. It's an Irish sausage with mashed potatoes. Shepherd's pie, right?
I don't like shepherd's pie.
You know what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like potluck. Anyway, and then what else? Black pudding is the name of the blood sausage. I'm mentioning all of this along with Guinness Stout and Magner's apple cider, hard apple cider, and what was it, Bushmills and Jameson's Irish whiskey.
Something's coming.
I'm mentioning all this because in March, next month, will be St. Patrick's Day, and if you want to get an authentic James P. Madonna Irish shillelagh, simply go to XavierGifts.com. That's XAVIER.com. Email Patty and tell her that James P. Madonna sent you from Progressive Discussions, and you can get one of these Irish shillelaghs. So all my fans would have the weapons grade shillelagh, just in case you need it. Now, this gentleman here, this is a self-portrait of my co-host and mentor, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, who happens to be a fine watercolor artist. You can see the William J. Eisenman collection by going on the internet, Google, type in YouTube, Megalife 21, William J. Eisenman collection, and you'll see the playlist to like Caribbean steel drum music. Or you can go to William J. Eisenman Facebook profile. You can go to newslettercensor.com. If you see something you like, email him, find out if it's still available, and if it is, you can purchase with your gift to support this work one of his authentic watercolor paintings signed by himself, of course. The bidding starts at $500. Now, this here is the backbone of our organization, Newsletter Censored, founded in 1977 by William J. Eisenman, Ph.D. There's nothing like this in the mainstream media or the mainstream press. This is the underground media. It discusses politics, religion, health, human sexuality, and child rearing. There's more information in the newsletter than there is on our websites or in our talk shows. It's the kind of information that most people are afraid to hear. Can you handle it? Simply go to newslettercensored.com, click on the printable order form, and with your gift to support this work, get your free annual subscription to Newsletter Censored. You need Newsletter Censored. We are living in the end times, and you need Newsletter Censored to learn how to defeat a conservative and many other things. And it has, at the beginning, it has, this is a new issue, volume number 118, Without Natural Affection. Okay, sometimes there's tidbits, which is current news topics, but if there's room. Then we have The God Project by William J. Eisenman, Doctor of Divinity, where the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman teaches you what the Bible really has to say, not what right-wing fundamentalists tell you what the Bible says, but this is the real truth. And last but not least, in the back, you have Sexuality, a Holistic Approach by William J. Eisenman, Ph.D. So, this is the ultimate in information that you'll never hear from the mainstream media or the press. So go to newslettercensored.com and get your free annual subscription with your gift to support this work. You need Newsletter Censored. This is the very best way to be a part of our organization and to join our organization, is to get this newsletter. Okay, and also when you're at newslettercensored.com, check out Dr. Bill for President. Yes, he is running for, I believe, the third time as a progressive independent, and he will teach you how to write in a candidate. And he will also teach you how we need to get money out of politics. And that will get the corruption out of politics. And I heard Gary Null say that very thing on his show yesterday. I listened at 12 noon. I went to Progressive Radio Network and I listened to the Gary Null show from there, and I have the link also on our Facebook page. It's right there, Newsletter Censored Facebook page. Well, you'll see it, and just check it out. Anyway, he's right. You got to get the money out of politics. That's the only way to do it.
And the question is, there are 6 other people running for president. Jill Stein, Rocky Anderson, and 4 more.
Right.
Plus myself. And the question is, have anybody heard them?
No, because the U.S. media does not give them any airtime or interview them. I guarantee they are not going to invite them to the presidential debates, which is not right. The primary independents should always be invited to the debates, so Americans at least have a choice outside the two-party system. But no, they're not invited. This is what we need, a good progressive independent, and it is possible to write in the candidate. Okay, but they don't want you to know all your rights.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to show, I know last week I did not show it properly, but this time I will. All right. Mr. Bob Seppi, founder and president of Healthy and Fit Nutritionals in New York. This company was the very first product line that I ever took when I started doing strength training, weightlifting. They do not advertise that much, but they put a lot of money into research and development, which is second to none, state-of-the-art products. This happens to be one of the very best values in sports nutrition today. One of the very best values for the money. This is 100% Whey Pro Amino. Hold on. Whey Pro Amino. I guess I have it straight.
Down a little. Okay, okay.
But the label is straight. It's facing...
Pretty straight. I mean, it goes around.
No, what I'm saying, the front.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to
Move it
make...
a little the other way.
All right, like that?
A little the other way.
Like this?
Yeah.
So now it's facing the camera, right?
Yeah. 100% whey.
100% Whey Pro Amino. This is heavenly chocolate. It gives you a whopping 45 grams of high-quality whey protein in a mere 2-ounce scoop. It contains digestive enzymes, papain, and bromelain. It is sweetened with stevia. It's safe for diabetics. It has 0 calories. You do not need a blender with this product. It mixes quickly in a shaker or even in a glass with a spoon. Mixes quickly, and compared to other competitors where you only get a little over 20 grams of whey protein per scoop, this gives you 45 grams of high quality, high amino acid profile whey protein per 2-ounce scoop. And like I said, it tastes great, and it's the most advanced product for people involved in strength training and physical fitness, weightlifting. You can get it on the internet, wherever you can find it at the cheapest price. I know the Vitamin Shop has it.
Yeah.
It's a great product. The Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman takes this product, all right, with his famous nut and seed meal. There you go. 100% Whey Pro Amino. It comes in vanilla also, but that one here is chocolate.
Chocolate.
All right,
Chocolate.
back to the articles. Oh, wait a minute. Make myself a little useful. Continue with the articles. Go ahead, continue. I'm back.
All right.
Oh. I'm sure we got good ones. We always do. From our local newspaper.
Hey, if they ain't good, they'll be good someday.
Well, yeah, but you only select the ones that are interesting and have meaning to it.
In December,
I hope he does. Yeah.
NASA announced that it had confirmed the discovery of a planet orbiting a different sun or star. 2 things made this discovery especially exciting.
Okay.
First, the planet was roughly the size of Earth. Second, the planet was at the necessary distance from its star to support life. We don't know if there is life on that planet. We just know it's in the right place to make life possible. This planet, named Kepler 22b, is one of thousands of exoplanets we have found in the last few years. Until about 20 years ago, we had not found any. Until the late 1700s, people knew of only 6 planets, including the Earth. In 1781, an astronomer discovered Uranus.
Whose anus? My anus?
Uranus.
What are you, a proctologist or something? Oh, Uranus. Isn't that a very popular planet among gay people?
If they're astrologers.
If
they believe in astrology.
You mean astronomy?
No, astrology.
Astrology is the foretelling the future.
Uranus is one of the planets in one of these signs.
Aquarius.
Oh no! It's in my sign?
That's your ruling planet, and we happen to be the birthdays that are occurring now are Aquarians. But supposedly, well, not supposedly, I think it's a fact that more people in all the Hall of Fames combined are Aquarian There are more Aquarians in the Hall of Fame than any other sign. And they're very artistic people, but they all have a trait. They're a little, like, disorganized and, you know, papers and magazines all over the place.
That's because they're doing a lot of work.
Me, I'm a neat freak. Everything's got to be perfect and spick and span.
I just saw a picture today in Time magazine of this prosecutor who's going after the people on Wall Street. And you should see his desk, and you should see his floor. He's got folders, and he's got this, that, and the other all over the place because he's a busy man.
But you know what that means? He needs more filing cabinets. So
yeah,
he can
but
file
certain
them.
things, when you are a certain type of person,
But how do you keep from
you have
losing?
to have certain things in your eyesight.
But how do you keep from losing things when they're
You
not
keep other people out of your office.
like
That's how you do
yeah,
that.
like me that constantly straighten it out. Yeah, but I'm saying if everything is filed alphabetically, I mean in a nice cabinet.
Yeah, but then the only way you would be able to get at that stuff is what they call diarying it. Like diary it for every 2 weeks and then look at everything. But there are certain things that you may need to have in front of your eyesight
Right.
all the time.
Now the secret to not losing important things is when you finish reading the source document and doing what you need to do with it, immediately return it to its source, to its original source in the folder.
Yes.
Right.
Organization.
Right. Don't just place it on your desk because then you'll start losing things. It's that way with everything, actually. Anyway, continue.
Observers had spotted it before but had thought it was a star. In 1846, astronomers discovered Neptune. Pluto, now called a dwarf planet, was discovered in 1930.
Yeah, it was reduced. It was demoted.
It was demoted, yeah.
Like St. Christopher is not a saint anymore. The Catholic Church demoted him.
Oh, boy. Do they have power to do that?
Take
Let
sainthood.
God determine who was saints or whatever.
I'm serious. I think you think.
I'm serious.
Yeah, I'm serious about what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I'm also serious about the Pope demoting a saint. Anyway, oh, by the way, your lucky stone is the amethyst,
Amethyst.
which
yes.
happens to be the only purple gemstone. Very pretty stone.
More
Anyway.
like periwinkle. It's more like periwinkle.
Actually, my friend, amethysts, just like rubies and emeralds and sapphires, come in different shades. But you are right. But as a rule of thumb, for those out there that do not know gemology, the deeper the color, the more they're worth. So a deep purple amethyst will be worth more than a light violet amethyst.
Then, in 1992, astronomers found the first exoplanets. They were orbiting a type of star called a pulsar.
I've heard of that.
A pulsar is basically a dead star that has collapsed
Wonder why they call it pulsar.
because it keeps going around and, you know, still blinking,
Oh, it's still blinking,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
but it's dead. It looks as if it is giving out regular pulses or bursts of light or radio waves, much like a lighthouse beam.
Oh, okay.
See? Experts say if you took a planet like Earth, blew off all the water, and blasted it with heat, the hot ball remaining would be like a planet orbiting a pulsar.
Could you imagine how emaciated Earth would look if all of its water was removed?
Yeah.
All the oceans were emptied. It would be pathetic looking.
That's what they said. Nothing living would survive.
It'll be like what's her name?
Venus.
No, the actress.
Snooki.
Snooki's not emaciated, not by a long shot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyway,
Emaciated.
no.
Who's emaciated?
Um,
Actress?
Demi Moore.
Demi Moore has a problem with her body.
Right.
Yes, she said.
Anyway,
She has a problem with her head too. She's on drugs. She's doing drugs.
Well, don't they all? Isn't it funny how all these?
I wonder if leaving Bruce had anything to do with it.
All these rich celebrities, I guess they get so bored having everything they ever wanted, and I guess they all end up with doing drugs, having a severe drug problem.
They probably lack, a basic emotional core.
Yeah, or they become bulimic, anorexic. They're always worried about how they look, if they're in the limelight or not, or they're not in the spotlight anymore. They freak out, very insecure. But anyway, continue.
About 3 years later, astronomers found the first exoplanet orbiting a regular star. It was about the size of Jupiter. It was so close to its sun that its year only lasted about 4 days.
That's it?
This discovery astonished astronomers. They had expected other star systems to be like our own solar system, with big planets far from the sun and smaller planets closer to the sun. Most exoplanets, scientists have found, have been giant planets, like Jupiter or Saturn. That doesn't mean there are more giant planets out there. It just means the big planets are easier to find. Kepler 22b is nearly 2.5 times as big as the Earth. It is a super-Earth-sized planet. About 200 of the 2,300 exoplanets found so far have been roughly Earth-sized. Jupiter is a much bigger planet than Earth. More than 1,300 Earths could fit inside it.
Yeah, but Jupiter's very gaseous.
Well, it should take Beano.
Beano. Yeah, Esmeralda can't deal with beans. She gets a lot of distress from beans, and she's Colombian. She's Latin American, and she can't mess with beans. They give her a problem, but they don't give me a problem, and I'm a gringo.
Well, try it with Beano, maybe. Because you take that before.
Well, let me ask you a question. If an individual gets a lot of acid reflux and stomach distress with heartburn and acid reflux, is that person a candidate for digestive enzymes?
Yes, it is. But in a lot of those situations, the fact of the matter is not over acid stomach. It might be low acid.
In other words, the digestive enzymes would be a protocol for somebody who...
There's a test you can do with vinegar.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
To test yourself, if you have enough stomach acid, actually.
But that's definitely could it be stress related, or is it usually digestive disorder?
Could be that. It could be hiatal hernia. It could be anything.
Now, with hiatal hernia, do they still need the enzymes, or just probiotics?
Hiatal hernia is usually the stomach is too full. It's backing up. It's pushing up through the diaphragm.
Oh, so the person has to eat lighter meals?
Lighter and more meals per day, probably.
Oh, okay.
Like somebody who gets their stomach stapled or whatever.
Oh, God. That should be I don't even like that procedure at all.
Of course, it's crapola. I know somebody who just had it. It's a shame. You can't really tell them what you think.
But all you have to do is
cut the carbs.
Is change your eating habits. Cut out the carbs, the sugar and the carbs. That's all you got to do. Increase the good fats and the protein and cut the carbs.
I can guarantee anybody, if they just cut the simple sugars, will lose at least 20 pounds.
Alone?
Without hurting itself. Without starving. Without doing anything.
Because the body will go into ketosis.
20 pounds. It won't even do that. Just stop the simple sugars and you'll lose 20 pounds.
Even without exercise, you'll lose the weight on that. All right, continue.
It is very hard to find planets. A star can be 1,000,000 times brighter than a planet. The glare of the star makes it hard to see exoplanets. We have seen only a few of them directly. Astronomers find most planets by noticing whether the star's light changes on a regular basis. If it does, it means a planet may be orbiting it. There are two main ways of watching starlight to find planets. Light can be divided into bands of color, like a rainbow. This rainbow effect is called the spectrum. Astronomers watch for tiny changes in a star's spectrum. The gravity of the planet and the star pull each other like two dancers. The star's spectrum appears to shift back and forth. Watching for the change in a star's spectrum works well for big planets, but it's much harder with smaller ones. To find smaller planets, astronomers search for signs that a planet is crossing in front of a star. This crossing is called a transit. A planet transit causes a small dip in the starlight. If the planet is large enough, this dip can be measured from telescopes on Earth. But this doesn't work for Earth-sized planets. NASA's Kepler spacecraft was launched in March of 2009. Its mission is to go where man has not gone before.
I think you will make an excellent starship captain, Dr. Bill.
Scotty! Scotty, give me some more power!
Now, remember the
singularity is drawing us in, Scotty!
Remember the little person
Yeah.
played by the
baby on board
the baby starship, the baby ship.
You and me, Captain, are much alike.
We are much alike. Yeah, remember that. You look like a baby.
The Kepler spacecraft examines about 150,000 stars, measuring regular tiny dips in the starlight. The starlight must dip 3 times, showing 3 orbits, before Kepler marks a planetary discovery. Each planet discovered by Kepler must be confirmed by other methods. Until then, the new planet is called a planet candidate.
One moment, please.
So far, the Kepler mission has found more than 2,300 exoplanet candidates. Astronomers expect that most of these discoveries will be confirmed as true planets. Astronomers throughout the world are discovering more exoplanets. Here are some exoplanet discoveries that excite our imagination. The discovery of Kepler 22b is so important because it is the first Earth-sized exoplanet that we know is in an area where there could be liquid water.
I should hope it's liquid water.
If there is water, there could be life. This special area is called the habitable zone. Some experts also call it the Goldilocks zone. It is not too hot or too cold to support life. It is just right.
There's not a lot of bears there, are there?
Nor porridge.
Yeah, porridge. It's oatmeal, isn't it? Some people sound like they have oatmeal rolling around in their mouth when they talk. I hate those people.
The Kepler mission has also found an exoplanet with 2 suns, like Luke Skywalker's home planet, Tatooine? I never saw Star Wars, so I don't know.
I'm not a Star Wars fan. I hate
Tatooine,
it. I despise it. I don't like it.
This planet, Kepler 16b, would not support life, however. When the first Star Wars movie came out, most scientists thought a planet that circled 2 suns was impossible. Now astronomers have found that exoplanets can orbit double stars. A planet as dark as coal. Astronomers have found a planet that reflects so little light it is darker than coal. Astronomers are not sure what is in its atmosphere that makes it so dark. It is so hot that it does make a bit of its own red light. The dark planet Ceres 2b is about 750 light years away. 1 light year is about 6 trillion miles. Not even a Starship Enterprise can traverse that space.
The most efficient way
so you see how large the universe is.
The most efficient way to travel intergalactically through space is through wormholes. Shortcut. You must take a shortcut.
Of course, if you're a spirit being,
that won't be a problem.
That won't be a problem. Astronomers have found an exoplanet made of carbon, so tightly pressed together that it has probably turned into a diamond.
Oh, like when George Reeves, as Superman, used to crush the charcoal in his hand and give the girl a diamond? Gee, that's a lot cheaper than going to Jared, isn't it?
Jared!
I hate that commercial. Yeah, they always sucker the poor schmuck, the poor guy, into thinking he has to get a second job just to give a woman a big diamond ring, you know. And of course the diamond industry, the diamonds are a complete rip-off because there are so many diamonds coming out of South Africa that they purposely do not export them in full force to keep the price up. And then the stupid Jared commercial with the girls that, oh, he went to Jared. Listen, no amount of sex in the world is worth buying a friggin' diamond for several $1,000s for one woman, unless you're a rich guy that likes to show off, you know.
But how much could it mean, though?
It's a rip-off.
If you're a rich guy.
Right, now a diamond, it's relative, exactly. But, yeah, George Reeves, yeah, he used to crush the coal in his hand, you know, and give the girl this big, huge diamond. It's a nice deal if you can do that, you know, but
it's more expensive, of course, when it's put into a setting and cut properly.
Yeah. Now when you buy fine jewelry in from other countries, you pay what it's worth. The gold is sold in according to how many grams of weight it is. They weigh it. You know, you don't pay for the designer that designed the style, the workmanship. You pay for the amount of gold for exactly what it's worth. Yeah, same thing with the diamonds. Diamonds are graded properly.
You're saying the United States is crooked or what?
The United States is crooked?
Well, yeah, business-wise.
Yes, it's crooked. That's what deregulation...
So in other words, the United States, most businesses, or maybe all businesses, who knows, buy low and sell high.
And are allowed to lie and exaggerate to the consumer. Snake oil salesmanship.
Or like the FDA says about the pesticides in the orange juice. Hey, it's in all of it. What are we going to do?
What are you going to do?
It's not enough to kill you. Go ahead, drink it. Drink it. Come on.
They're paid off. This is. Yes, it's ill-gotten gains. It's dishonest. The free market, is it free market capitalism, or is it capitalism under conservative right-wing Republicans that makes it corrupt?
No, it's not a political party.
By nature, capitalism?
By nature. By capitalism, as I said, I gave the example. Capitalism, as far as like a job situation, if you go for a job, the boss is going to hire you, but he's never going to pay you what you're worth.
Absolutely not.
Because he can't do that, or he would not make a profit on you.
Right. In other words, if he paid you according to the cost of living increases, he would not be able to afford his payroll.
Well, no, I don't know. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with that he needs you and your work to produce more for him than he pays you.
Otherwise,
he doesn't make a profit. It has nothing to do with the wages themselves.
Yeah,
because there are people working on Wall Street that are getting millions of dollars for what? You know what I'm saying? But if their productivity is such that the guy's paying them millions of dollars, then their productivity is making him twice as much or 3 times as much.
It's just simple math.
Yeah.
Now, there's this dude...
so it can never be fair. Capitalism can never be fair.
No, it can never be fair. This jabroni on Facebook really pissed me off. I would have wrapped him with my shillelagh. It's the same old bullshit. I don't know if this guy was high income, rich, 1%, or if he was just a middle-class man talking shit on the internet. But it's the same old story. He was calling America's poor a bunch of lazy freeloaders, bitching and moaning about his taxes. Now, if he's bitching and moaning about his taxes, he's most likely middle class, thus carrying the tax burden in America, or he's a very stingy, miserly, greedy, rich guy. He's either one. And he obviously believes the Republican lies, the propaganda. What I said, my reply was that social programs for the poor make up a very tiny percentage of the overall budget compared to, let's say, the military spending, which is totally overly bloated, and Wall Street bailouts. So you had told me this a long time ago, that welfare for the poor make up such a tiny percentage.
It's a boogeyman. It's a boogeyman. It's a straw man argument. They just use that. The conservatives just use that because they want smaller government, no matter what it is. They just don't want regulation.
It's excuses.
They don't want anybody telling them what they can and can't do.
Okay, what about the rich
and
paying?
In that, well, they don't want that either.
The rich paying their fair share in taxes.
They don't want
that.
No, they don't want that.
And they have no compassion for the poor whatsoever.
No, because you're on your own. We read it in the last article. Every man for himself. That's how the Republicans believe and think.
So if the veterans come back from Afghanistan and Iraq and they end up living in a tent in the woods in Florida with the Burmese pythons, then that's it. That's the way the crab cake crumbles. The cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
That's it. They don't care.
No.
No.
There was just a thing on before on the CNN. There was this couple, and they were making $100,000 between them about a year, 2 years ago, and he got laid off.
Right.
And they haven't got jobs since then. And they don't, of course, they don't know what to do. Are they lazy?
Hell no.
Well,
there's no jobs.
I mean, not only is there no job, now the jobs went up last month.
Oh, big
deal. And the unemployment went down.
How much?
But
a little bit, right?
But yeah, it went down to 8.3. But the point of it is, nobody is talking about the fact that all those jobs that are gone, and they will never come back.
No matter how many progressives or Democrats get elected.
Or no matter how many businesses we begin starting up again and green and this, that, and the other thing. It ain't going to happen.
Because you said the only way to create jobs in America is you need a demand. Right?
For a product, yeah.
You need a demand for it. And the demand is the only way jobs are created if you keep them in America. If they're not outsourced.
Yeah, but that's the problem. See, we don't want to keep them in America. We're actually subsidizing companies so that they can take them overseas. And then we're giving them tax breaks, too.
Really?
Yes.
So
that's what's been happening for the last 30 years.
So the Republicans that are bitching and moaning about poor people not finding a job, in reality, they contribute to the outsourcing problem. They're contributing to it.
Reagan contributed really big time.
Yeah. So it's further proof that they're lies. It's conservative propaganda that these idiots believe it hook, line, and sinker, the middle class.
Look, if you look at it this way, if everybody, like, let's say God's economics, everybody had their own land, their own way to make a living, they would be secure. They would be free. Because there is no freedom for anybody if you are economically deprived.
No, hell
you have no freedom.
Well, the American dream, the so-called American dream, is only for the rich.
And they want to keep it that way.
And the children of the rich. I'm sure Chris Christie, the ever inflating Chris Christie, and his children do not miss. Not only do they not miss any meals, and probably live in a lovely home, but they also eat very well, quality-wise. You know, and this is the Republican that closed food pantries. And food pantries, by the way, they don't give the poor, you know, the food they should be eating. You know, like certified organic, this, that, and the other thing. Nah, you get shit. You get a lot of refined carbs. What the food pantry people told me in an interview was that their objective is to fill your belly, your stomach. They offer foods that are filling to the poor and the destitute. Filling.
Rather than nutritional.
Right. You know what? Hold on. Here's to you and your objective of dealing with the poor. You know, you conservative politicians. You know what I'm saying? You know what this means? You know, when I have an itch on my forehead and I need to scratch it. Here, this is what I think of your plans to help the poor and your plans for mainstream America. Mainstream America does not want to work for less than minimum wage and be cast into slavery. Okay? It's a lot easier to loot your mansion and take the natural resources that rightfully belong to the people, that belong to God, okay? You know, not to corporations or persons. They belong to God. And the natural resources of the planet Earth are supposed to be shared. You know, like the woman was told from the Jesse Ventura show, we are not using up your natural resources. They are not your natural resources. In reality.
That's correct.
Okay. We got time for one
more
good one.
Well, let's hope it's good. On December the 15th,
pick some at random.
220th anniversary of the Bill of Rights Day.
Sounds good.
The U.S. Senate passed the 2011-2012 National Defense Authorization Act 86-13.
Wow.
Recently signed into law by President Obama, this act includes sections that codify indefinite military detention without trial of anyone, including American citizens, the president accuses of supporting Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, or associated forces.
Mm-hmm.
As this law permits the president alone to decide whoever fits the broad and elastic categories of supporting or associated, the law effectively abrogates any accused person's rights to due process law and a speedy public trial guaranteed by our Constitution's Fifth and Sixth Amendments. Although the law makes military detention mandatory only for non-U.S. citizens, it nonetheless leaves the door wide open to military imprisonment of Americans by saying such detention is not required for U.S. citizens. And Senator Lindsey Graham dispelled any doubt about the law's applicability to United States citizens when, speaking about Section 10301, he said, "The statement of authority to detain does apply to American citizens, and it designates the world as a battlefield, including the homeland.
This is fascism.
Correct.
This politician is in reality a fascist.
He's trying to point up what the law says.
Oh, he's pointing it up now.
That's correct. And he's a Republican, too.
But, but look at the vote. Look at the percentage.
86-13. And Obama signed it. Continuing the fascism instituted by the G.W. Bush administration.
Okay, and this includes extending the tax cuts for the rich, the G.W. Bush tax cuts for the rich. Obama...
Oh, that was already done.
That was done already, but the Democrats did not buck heads with the Republicans over that.
No.
And that includes, way back when, taking the public option for health care off the table. The Democrats didn't buck heads about that either. Which means, what does all this mean? It means that your Democrats that supposedly with the crocodile tear coming out of Bill Clinton's eye feel your pain, your FDR Democrats, well, they're not, that's an insult to FDR, I'm sorry, because they're not FDRs. Your Democrats are corporatists and business people that have sold out their voters. That's what this all means.
However, Graham and Senator Carl Levin, Democrat of Michigan, the law's primary sponsors, maintained they had no intention of changing existing law since they say the president already has authority to capture anyone, anywhere, and incarcerate anyone he designates a suspect indefinitely without trial or due process. Yeah, under George W. Bush.
Without trial?
Yes.
That's fascism.
The senator's cited assertion of established presidential powers raises the following questions. If the president already has such powers, why did...
I dropped my tea. Continue. Let's get...
Why did the overwhelming majority of Congress, including New Jersey Senators Frank Lautenberg and Robert Menendez and Representative Rodney Freeland-Heitzen...
Wait, what did Robert Menendez do now?
They voted for the law.
This is Robert Menendez.
That's correct.
Of New Jersey.
That's correct.
Democrat, originally from, I think, Union City.
That's correct.
Originally from a low-income neighborhood.
That's correct.
Voted for this law.
That's correct.
Sold that. That means he sold out to the fat cats. Just like Al Franken, you don't hear from him anymore. He must have sold out too. You see how vile the human race is?
They're afraid of being called unpatriotic if they don't.
But what about, aside from patriotism, which is their version of patriotism is bullshit, what about just telling the truth to the American people? Doesn't that trump name-calling from Republicans? Doesn't that override the name-calling?
Not when they can put millions and millions of dollars into getting you unelected.
In other words, the Shkalora
has put the fear.
In other words, they threaten to cut off the gravy train to these career politicians. Career politicians, these disciples of Satan, perhaps? Yeah, I'm sure that was a little comedy for you folks. Me spilling my tea on my lap. Good thing you can't see it. Yeah.
Find it necessary to vote to grant these powers by inserting them into a defense authorization bill. Why did the Senate strike down amendments that would have exempted American citizens from any detention without trial and limited military detention to those captured abroad? Why did Senator John McCain affirm on the Senate floor that American suspects should be subject to indefinite military detention without trial? The answer is that Congress chose to legalize the authority President George W. Bush and President Obama had previously claimed and acted on. Notably, the law's military detention provision was opposed by FBI Director Robert Mueller, who said it would interfere with the FBI's ability to investigate and interrogate terrorism suspects. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta said it could damage national security.
Okay.
2 retired 4-star Marine Corps generals concluded it would damage due process and place an undue burden on the military. James Madison, the father of our Constitution and key author of the Bill of Rights, warned that loss of liberty at home is to be charged against provisions against danger, real or pretended, from abroad. Attempting to fend off and control real or perceived threats, Congress limits our liberty. But in undermining the freedom so many have given their lives to preserve, they can only achieve a temporary and finally false security. All our elected representatives swear on oath to protect and defend the Constitution.
Right on, man.
Members of Congress who voted for this bill and the president who signed it violated that oath, and in doing so betrayed the Constitution and the people they represent.
Outstanding last article for Progressive Discussions. Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, outstanding article. And I just want everyone to know that every progressive discussion becomes a progressive discussion, also available on our internet talk radio station, which right now is broadcast through the Pirate Radio Network. And of course, it will be available on video through livestream.com under Megalife 21. We haven't heard the heating system all throughout the entire show.
For 2 weeks at least.
For 2 weeks. But it's like we're really finished here anyway, so it doesn't matter. But that's about it. I just wanted to say something about Facebook. And this is important. You think that your communication is private, but it's really not. Of course, you know, Mark Zucker, Geek, Zucker Jerk, Zucker Suck, whatever, Zuckerberg, you know, of course these companies sell your information to other companies and get paid for it without your authorization. But make sure you go into the privacy settings and make sure you look for where it says tags, and make sure you disable all the tags so only you can see the information, and make sure you keep your information only amongst your friends, because if you don't disable tags,
if you have done that, why do I keep getting messages when you are talking to other people
without me being told about it?
I guess not. Because up on my, up the top on the left-hand side, messages and the other thing and the other thing.
Uno momento. Okay, continue. Up on the upper right-hand corner.
On your homepage.
On the homepage.
There's messages.
Yeah.
There's the globe from something else, I don't know, and something else.
Yeah.
Or somebody's got you Texas Hold'em chips or something like that. Anyway, I click on there and there's like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 messages of you yakking with other people, and I get these messages.
Oh,
and I'm not mentioned in there or anything like this.
You mean the upper right-hand corner,
upper left.
Wait a minute. You're facing the computer monitor.
Upper left.
Upper left.
There's 3 icons. One is a globe, one is something else, or something else. And the one is messages.
But these messages are supposed to be private.
And it'll put a number up there. How many messages?
Oh, really?
And then you click on it, and their messages will download.
And you can view your friends' conversations without their authorization, which means that they have to delete immediately. If they expect their messages to be private, they have to delete them. Mark Zuckerberg, you sneaky little eagle-beaked bastard, you.
Rich bastard.
Rich bastard. You know what? There seems to be a lot of intrusive spying nowadays in America in many, many ways. You know what I mean? It's not for... Look, just because somebody's on your friends list, that doesn't mean they have a right to invade your privacy. You know? So, you know what? That's why a lot of people have got so disgusted and frustrated, they've given up on the whole Facebook, MySpace thing.
MySpace, yeah.
Yeah, MySpace is old hat, but but the good thing about MySpace is you can make it look more like a personal website, and it's available for public view, just like the Facebook promo page. You don't have to be a member. But the thing is, because of all the spamming and all the crap that's going on, and all kinds of wackos that are out there, people have just gotten disgusted with it. And well, now Twitter is popular. You know how many people have told me, I don't have Facebook, I only have Twitter? But all Twitter is texting, right? There's no fancy schmancy profile, there's no web page, just texting. It's texting because Americans now, especially not just young people, even older ones, are obsessed with texting, and they're totally oblivious to the world around them. They don't deal with a live human being anymore face to face. It's kind of like, it's a little cowardly when you think about it. Everything is texting. It's very impersonal, and this is what the world has become, you know. It's very, I know it's high tech, of course, but people don't know how to deal with the flora, the fauna, nature, the environment around them, people, dealing with human beings, you know, observing things in nature. Everything is like texting, going online, driving in their car. If people go on a subway, they got the MP3 player going, they're listening to music while they're texting. They're oblivious to what's around them. They don't communicate with people. They don't get to know people. And this is possibly a trait of the end times.
Without natural affection.
Without natural affection, and in the end times, knowledge will rapidly increase. Okay, thank you for joining us for Progressive Discussions. Bye-bye. Say so long.
So long.